Welcome to Sports Talk with the Cowboy.
Welcome and thanks for riding with the Cowboy. We're going to start with the Buccaneers tonight. Buccaneers OTAs ended last week and the quarterbacks all got to take some snaps, and there's a lot of good progress made at some defensive end positions out there with some of the new draft picks we got. Yaya from Louisville, and we got the guy from Eastern Michigan, and we had Shaquille Barrett in shorts and not participating but out there, and we had Joe Tryon out there, and Clancy, our new #1 pick, and Vita Vea was out there. Gaines, our new defensive tackle, was out there. So everybody was looking pretty good out there. Of course, it's pajama football without any much hitting going on, which is great. They got to get with Dave Canales and get with Brian Leftwich and get some setups on this year's offensive and defensive schemes before training camp. There's about 90 people out there. We're going to keep 53 of them. So there's a lot of them that won't be there, so they're all trying to gather up the information so they look good when the season training camps start in July. And other than that, there's not a lot of news over at One Buccaneer Place on any NFL. There's not any great major acquisitions being made. Most everybody's OTAs are over now. And so there'll be some voluntary workouts, any kind of workout if you're a free agent in the center to show you're trying to gather this information and working out real hard before training camp is welcome. But anything that's officially that you have to attend is over with until training camp. So that's about what's going on in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In this show, no news is good news at this time. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on over there at One Buccaneer Place when the training camp starts, or next show, if there's anything that breaks. We're going to go on now to the Tampa Bay Rays, which play the Minnesota Twins tonight. They won last night with Zach Efron, the new free agent from Dunedin, by the way, born and raised in Dunedin, Florida, attended the Devil Ray games as a youngster, goes in to play college ball, winds up playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, is a great player, becomes a free agent, and says to the Tampa Bay Rays, I'll take less millions for a good contract. They grab him because he wants to play at Tropicana Field, and he comes and plays at Zach Efron, our new pitcher for 4 years, by the way, and he's 7-0, beat the Minnesota Twins last night 8-0 in his start. And as the shooting of this show is taking place, the second game of that series with the Minnesota Twins is up tonight. The Tampa Bay Rays still leading the Eastern Division, the American League, and leading baseball in wins and in home runs. And their pitching ERA percentage the best in baseball. With all the injuries we've had to our starters, we've got Tyler Glasnow back, and we've got McClanahan, of course we've got Efron. And we've had some Rasmussen and others, Fleming, that's been injured, some not even returned. So we've had to bring up Shea Bradley and some other players and other pitchers from other bullpen positions and put them in the starters, and we continue to win. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Rays on continuing to win. In hockey, the Las Vegas Golden Knights are playing the Florida Panthers for the Stanley Cup, and it's 2-0 the Golden Knights from Las Vegas in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's what's going on in the hockey world. And we'll keep you posted on the finals going on there with the NHL Stanley Cup and the Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers in your next show. So we'll continue to follow both those events, and we're following the NBA Championship. The Denver Nuggets 1 game to the Miami Heat's 1 game. They play in Miami tomorrow night. The first game, the Nuggets won. Last game, the Heat won. Best of 7 NBA Finals. We'll keep you posted on that. The 24-hour running of the greatest endurance race on the earth is the Le Mans in France. It takes place this weekend. There's a NASCAR team headed up by Jimmy Johnson that will race with a Camaro in the 24-hour Le Mans in their class. So for everybody that's a NASCAR fan that's not a big sports car fan, the greatest sports car race, first time we've got a Camaro in there, not a Corvette, a Camaro running in the 24-hour Le Mans this weekend with Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion of NASCAR, retired but running a race that he said he's always dreamed about running at Indy. He got to do that last year. I've always wanted to run the 500. I've done that. I've been the 7-time champion of stock car. But there's one thing I want to do. I want to run the 24-hour Le Mans, and I want to run the 12 hours of Sebring. And the 24-hour Rolex at Daytona. And he's going to start with the greatest of the three, the Le Mans, this weekend. So stay tuned to that big race. And now we're going to move on to some great big news in golf. As you heard, the PGA and the LIV Tour have merged. You did not mishear what I said. The PGA and the LIV Tour have merged. Unbelievable. Unbelievable news, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Monahan, PGA CEO, merges with his enemy and nemesis, Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's a bought and paid for deal. We don't know the details of it. We know that the PGA players that stayed with the PGA were told that the players that LIV would never come back. That they were an enemy of the PGA. They were going in there raiding the players of the PGA. We all know about it. But for the PGA to capitulate this way and leave these players who stood up with them for the PGA is a disgrace to the game. Jay Monahan's a disgrace to the game. This merger's a disgrace to the game. I understand those who will say LIV Golf will, after this year, no longer be. But somehow or another, the Saudi Arabians got a stake in the PGA. You can trust and rest and believe that. Okay? And believe this. Saudi Arabians, 17 out of the 19 that took the Twin Towers down in New York, September 9/11, were Saudi Arabian nationals. You can trust and believe the Wahhabi schools in Saudi Arabia that teach radical Muslims, including one Osama bin Laden, which masterminded the actual attack at the World Trade Center. Same kingdom, same king. So let's just be realistic about the Saudi Arabians being an owner of the PGA. We don't know the details, but they didn't quit for free. It's a sad day. Sad day for Americans, a sad day for golf, in my opinion. So anyhow, we'll keep you posted on that great merger. I know you've heard about it. Everybody's heard about it. It's the biggest news in the last 24 hours. Probably, and the more interest we can find with people and viewers like you, the more we can find out what the details are. If we don't, we'll never know. So we'll keep you posted on what more news we hear about that. This week they're running in Sonoma, the road course in NASCAR. Last week in St. Louis, we had Kyle Busch with Richard Childress Racing win his third race, the number 8, last week in St. Louis. So this week they're in Sonoma, California, in the NASCAR Cup Series in the road course. That'll be the Infinity. I don't know if the trucks are running out in Sonoma or not. We'll keep you posted on that next week's show. And we'll keep you posted on the winner of that race out in Sonoma. This week's winner, Kyle Busch. My guy, Michael McDowell, come in 9th place. One of the only 2 top 10 finishes he's had all year. Congratulations, Front Row Motorsports. I want to see you get out on that road course and do good, Michael. And maybe score another top 10. Hey, maybe even win one. All right, so now we're going to go to our questions. And tonight, the first question is from Ann. And Ann wanted to know, Ann's from Lakeland. And the first thing she wanted to know is, what about those who stood up for the PGA, the players in the PGA that stood with the PGA, took less money to stand with them, and that, don't they feel backstabbed? I don't know, Ann. I haven't really had any time to find out what the players feel about it. Tiger Woods, that turned down over $250 million to stood to the PGA, said he didn't need bloody money. Okay, this is some hard feelings now, and you're talking about them kind of people moving into your organization after your owner or your CEO, Jay Monahan, said, but it never happened. Well, it's happened. And he made the deal for it to happen. You don't feel too good. I wouldn't, but I don't know the details. We'll keep you posted on that as much as we can. And the next question is, from Tim, and Tim is from Frostproof. He wanted to know about Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, any information I had on how they did during the OTAs. They did real well. Both of them did real well. Baker Mayfield seemed to be a little bit more assertive. We expected Tim he would be, because he's an experienced quarterback that led his team to the playoffs before. He's had 16,000 yards. He's going to be a little bit more assertive than Kyle Trask, even by just the nature of who he is. Kyle Trask looked real well. They say, all the players say he looked real good. He didn't look like the same guy. So when you get a guy that's 20 years old, he's 23, we all been there one time in our lives. We know 3 years of difference to make a lot of difference in a 20-year-old to a 23-year-old, just in maturity. And I think Kyle Trask has stepped up to where he is, and I think he will be the backup, and we'll get some playing time. And if something happens to Baker, he will be in there. And there's no question about that's what he's going to do. And that's good for him, unless he just overblows Baker during his training camp. But I've heard good from both of them, and they worked good together, Tim. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do in training camp. We'll keep you posted. And the last question is from Beth, and Beth wanted to know what I thought about the new smaller size bases in baseball. Beth, I think they have made stealing larger bases. Excuse me, Beth. They made stealing a little bit easier with the bases being a little bit bigger because they can get to them a little bit quicker. And that little bit of quicker, if you see Beth with the guy trying to touch you with a glove, that little bit is all you need. And that little bit's helped them because they're used to it being smaller. So that I think it has helped the base stealing, Beth, go up this year. That's a good question because base stealing has gone up really a lot. People say, "Why? They steal a lot of bases." And I think the 30-second clock, Beth, is helping too. Because they have to pitch the ball so fast with that 30-second clock, they don't have time to stand out there and dolly around. I think that's helped them be able to steal the bases better because they can watch that clock too. Just like that pitcher, they know when it's down to 0, and then they can move. So I think it's both of them's helped, Beth, and it has gotten a lot more stolen bases. That's a very good question, Beth. Thank you for your question, Beth. God bless you. DJX, what do you got for me?
Well, Cowboy, you know what it is. Let's get right off into it, buddy. I was glad to hear about that, the Camaros being in the Le Mans.
Camaro.
You know, I'm proud of
DJX is a big Camaro guy. I was a Camaro guy as a youngster. We're Camaro people.
Sure.
So we're watching the Camaro, not the Corvette, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not
Camaro.
the Camaro. Yeah, proud owner of one of those. All right. Phoenix has notified CP3 that he will be waived, making him a free agent this offseason.
He's not worth $36 million. He's just not worth $36 million between us. He's just not worth it. He's a veteran that can help a little bit, put a little minutes out there, but he's lost it.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't renegotiate his contract. So look, I'm not taking anything less than 36. And I'm sure he probably would have took 30, but he's not taking 7 or 8. Right. So yeah, he's had his 15 so years. It's about time.
About time. He washed up. All right. Predicting Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins.
Could happen. They say that the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes are out there if you've got a lot of money in your piggy bank still left that you haven't spent. You only got a certain amount to spend, but if you got enough cap space to take it, yeah, Dalvin Cook's for the taking, I believe. He's got a lot of injuries. He's a great player when he's healthy. But if you're only healthy half the time, then you got to figure that out.
Right. Got some issues going on there. All right. Dolphins tour donate $10,000 to families of a fan who died.
Tua's a good guy.
Yeah.
Tua, listen, for all that people say about Tua, he's a good human being.
That's what it's about right there.
And listen, that makes it a lot, when people say, how do they continue to have faith in him? When you're a good human being, people have faith in you. Tua's a good human being. And that's just the kind of thing that he would do, and I think all of us should do if we had the means to do it. I think we all would. I would. I'm sure DGX would, and you would too.
No doubt. All right, let's go to the boards. Nick Herbig called T.J. Watt one of the best to ever do it.
Well, he was one of the best to ever do it. T.J. Watt, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay, it say T.J. Watt gets brutally honest on Steelers duo Kenny Pickett, George Pickens.
Well, I'm good that I think George Pickens and Kenny Pickett are the players of the future for the Steelers, and he's there. He's a great player himself, and he's got a lot of good insight on it.
That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna leave it off right here. Mike Tomlin will get most out of Kenny Pickett Steelers in 2023.
He's going to get it done. Mike Tomlin always gets it done. He's a get-it-done guy. He's a Steeler coach, and that's how they are. Three coaches in their history.
Yeah.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, and the history of the team.
There it is.
17 in some teams, 30 in some teams, 3. Mike Tomlin get it done. No question. Right. He's going to get that team done. Whether they beat the Bengals, whether they will beat the Ravens, they're going to be a middle-of-the-road playoff contingent team. Yeah. And if the ball bounces their way, they're going to take it.
All right. I'm going to leave it off right there, Cowboy.
God bless you, DJX, and God bless each and every one of you. Try to lend a hand when you can. If you can't, still lend one. We need a lot more love out here than we do evil. We got a lot of hate. We need a lot more love than hate. A lot more smiles than frowns, a lot more laughter than tears. Till next show, God bless you, Cowboy out.